modern football's biggest stars, few names shine as brightly as Kylian Mbappé. A generational talent, a World Cup winner, and one of the most marketable athletes in the world, Mbappé has defined an era of football with his speed, goals, and confidence. But today's story is not about goals or trophies. It is about contracts, power, and a legal battle that has ended with a major ruling in Mbappé's favor. A Paris labor court has ordered Paris Saint-Germain to pay Kylian Mbappé more than 60 million euros, roughly $70 million, in unpaid wages and bonuses linked to the final months of his contract with the club. The decision follows a long and highly public dispute between Mbappé and PSG, one that captured global attention and exposed the tension that existed during the final chapter of his time in Paris. The roots of the conflict go back to Mbappé's decision not to extend his contract with PSG. His deal was due to expire in the summer of 2024, and once he made it clear that he would not renew, the relationship between player and club quickly deteriorated. PSG had hoped to either secure Mbappé's long-term future or sell him for a massive transfer fee. Instead, the club was faced with the possibility of losing its biggest star for nothing. That fear eventually became reality when Mbappé left PSG on a free transfer to Real Madrid in the summer of 2024. Despite the growing tension, Mbappé continued to play during the final season of his contract. He featured in the majority of PSG's matches, scored goals, and remained one of the team's key performers. By the end of his 7-year spell at the club, he had become PSG's all-time leading scorer with 256 goals. However, after the season ended, Mbappé's legal team filed a claim accusing PSG of failing to pay his wages and bonuses for the months of April, May, and June of 2024. According to his lawyers, these payments were contractually guaranteed and had not been waived or renegotiated in writing. Mbappé's representatives argued that he had fully honored his obligations to the club until the final day of his contract. They also stated that he made repeated attempts to resolve the issue privately and avoid legal action, but those efforts failed after more than a year of negotiations. PSG strongly rejected those claims. The club argued that Mbappé had acted disloyally by informing them late of his intention not to renew his contract, preventing them from arranging a transfer and causing significant financial damage. PSG claimed that Mbappé should not receive the unpaid wages and even filed a counterclaim seeking compensation. The court examined both sides of the argument and ultimately ruled in favor of Mbappé. Judges concluded that PSG had no written agreement proving that Mbappé had agreed to forgo his wages or bonuses. Under French labor law, the court determined that the club was legally obligated to pay the full amount owed. The ruling represents a significant moment in football law. It reinforces the principle that professional footballers, despite their wealth and status, are still employees protected by labor regulations. Clubs, regardless of their size or power, must respect contractual obligations. Mbappé's legal team welcomed the decision, describing it as confirmation that commitments must be honored. They emphasized that the ruling applies basic labor law principles to football, sending a message that the sport is not above the law. PSG responded by stating that it would respect the court's decision while reserving the right to appeal. The club maintained that it acted in good faith throughout the process and highlighted Mbappé's involvement in most matches during his final season. This dispute reflects deeper issues within modern football, where massive contracts, loyalty expectations, and financial pressure often collide. PSG invested heavily in Mbappé, offering him one of the most lucrative contracts in football history and building much of the club's sporting project around him. At one point, Mbappé even rejected an extraordinary offer from Saudi Arabia that would have made him the highest-paid footballer ever. Despite PSG's efforts, he chose to run down his contract and eventually join Real Madrid, a move that had been long anticipated. Now, with this court ruling, the legal chapter of Mbappé's PSG career reaches a decisive moment. While an appeal remains possible, the decision sends a clear signal across football. Contractual rights matter and legal protections apply to everyone. For Mbappé, this is more than a financial victory. It is a statement of principle. After years of commitment to PSG, he pursued what he believed was rightfully owed to him and succeeded through legal channels. For football fans, this case offers a rare glimpse into the business side of the sport, where negotiations, contracts, and legal battles can be just as intense as matches on the pitch. As Mbappé continues his career at Real Madrid, chasing titles and records, this ruling will remain an important chapter in his story. Not because of a goal or a trophy, but because it reinforces fairness and accountability in modern football. In a game dominated by money and power, this decision reminds us that rules still apply, and sometimes the most important victories happen far away from the stadium lights.